Lu Guang hates Mr. Orville? Roger asked in surprise. Is there a contradiction between them? Ragnar smiled and said, the contradiction has increased. Lu Guang has an only child named Lu Ming. Some time ago, I didn't know how offend Mr. Orville. He was knifed by Mr. Orville and carved the two characters on his forehead. What word? Poor hanging. FCK. Roger exclaimed when he heard this, and blurted out, Mr. Orville actually used a knife to carve the words, poor hang, on the forehead of Lu Guang's only son? It is not an exaggeration to say that this is a deadly vengeance. Yes. Ragnar smiled slightly and said, I guess that Lu Guang and his son wanted to kill Mr. Orville in their dreams. Eat his meat. When Roger heard this, he couldn't help asking, Dad, since you know that Lu Guang and Mr. Orville have an antagonism, why do you invite this Lu Guang over to the dinner? Ragnar smiled and said, don't you think Lu Guang is a good use object? A dog who wants to bite but dare not open his mouth. What he lacks most is a dog that can support him and let him open his mouth and bite with confidence. The host. Roger said, Dad, if you want to take advantage of Lu Guang, why set the dinner in Classic Mansion? He and Mr. Orville are like fire and water, isn't it difficult? Ragnar looked at Roger with deep eyes and said, Lu Guang and Mr. Orville are both dogs. The only difference is that Lu Guang is a stray dog without an owner, while Mr. Orville is a dog of the Song family. Roger nodded and asked, what then? Dad, what's the meaning of this? Ragnar said, if you want to marry Warnya in the future, you must have your own power in Orus Hill. Now these Orus Hill families are very polite to us, but they do not regard us as masters, but the Song family as masters. Therefore, we must develop our own forces in Orus Hill. After that, Ragnar said again, there are two kinds of forces. One is on the ground, the other is underground, and on the ground, these are the serious business families other than the Lu family and Mr. Orville, and the underground. If we can't subdue Mr. Orville, we must train a dog that can fight against Mr. Orville. Therefore, Lu's family is the best choice. Ragnar looked at Roger and seriously warned, if you want to inherit the Wu family in the future, you must be skilled in strategy. Why should I invite Lu Guang to dinner at Classic Mansion? On the one hand, we want to make Lu Guang feel pleasantly surprised. He is a stray dog like one who has no owner. He finally has the opportunity to eat with a big man like me. On the other hand, I want to make Lu Guang feel humiliated. The humiliation is that a stray dog like him who has no owner can only swallow his anger when facing his mortal enemy Mr. Orville. Only when he is humiliated will it be doubled. His desire for revenge. At that time, I will be merciful, give Lu Guang a chance, let him be my son, and give him a chance to revenge. He will definitely be grateful to me and go all out to deal with Orville. If Mr. Orville falls, then he is the underground emperor of Orus Hill. Then, the underground world of Orus Hill will be the power of our Wu family, understand? After listening to this, Roger suddenly realized. He was excited and said, Dad, this trick of you is really wonderful. In this case, Lu Guang will definitely treat you and our Wu family. We want to enter Orus Hill in the future. Lu Guang is our vanguard and bridgehead. Ragnar praised, yes, only in this way will Orus Hill become the unbreakable hinterland of the Wu family in the future. Roger admired his father's strategy in his heart, and sighed, I don't know when I will have a tenth of you, father. Ragnar smiled slightly and said, your current style of behavior is quite similar to that of mine. What you have to do now is to accumulate more, settle more, think more, and don't be impulsive in everything. You must slowly figure it out. Roger said, Dad, I understand. Yeah. Ragnar nodded in satisfaction and said, so if you return to Warnya, you must have enough patience, be steady, and let me get Warnya through like an eagle. Roger looked stunned, and immediately said respectfully, Dad, I know. I will definitely not disappoint your expectations. When the voice fell to the ground, the car also arrived at the gate of Classic Mansion.